Hare Om. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Namaste friends. Team Param Vedanta welcomes you all to DISHA 61, a new series of an inward journey to discover our inner strength and happiness through Bhagavad Gita. Let us continue our study of Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the 14th chapter, with the verses 19 to 27 and complete the chapter today. Dr. Sachin is today's speaker who will explain these verses. He will also touch upon the topic virtues of inner freedom as explained in Tattva Bodha. After the presentation, we will have a teaching quiz on the topics covered by Dr. Sachin by Srimati Nilima. Now it's shloka time and Srimati Pannaga Prasad is going to chant and explain that beautiful universal prayer. I invite Srimati Pannaga to chant and explain Durjanas Sajjano Bhuyat. Over to you, Pannaga.
Hari Om, Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Today we're going to learn a very simple, self-explanatory Sanskrit Subhashita, which aims to bring in universal peace, security, and happiness. Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat, Sajjana Shanti Mapnuyat. Shanto muchyeta bandhebhyo muktaschanyan vimochayet. Let us see the meaning line by line. Durjana sajjano bhuyat. The wicked people, durjanaha, become good. Sajjanaha. Sajjanaha shanti mapnuyat. Let good people attain peace. Shanto muchyeta bandhebhyaha. Let those who have attained peace become detached from all bondage. And finally, muktaschanyan vimochayet. Let those who have attained detachment, that is mukti, help others attain the same. In the next slide, let us understand the step-by-step prayer in a more detailed way. We learned that in the Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga that this world is a mixture of opposites. So let us first accept the bad as a part of the universal whole. It's easy for us to develop anger and animosity towards difficult people in our lives. But for our own spiritual growth, we must train our minds not to harbor negative feelings towards anyone or anything. Instead, we just do our duty and pray for the bad to become good. The second wish is for good people to attain peace of mind. A lot of good people worry about things beyond their control or experience discontentment in their life. This shloka wishes for them to realize their blessings and feel gratefulness and peace even amidst their current circumstances. The next step after attaining peace is to gradually free ourselves from all worldly bondages. That is, the excessive attachment we have for our family, friends, possessions, and profession. Most importantly, we learn to detach ourselves from the assumption that I am this body-mind-sense complex. This line essentially tells us to turn towards our scriptures, realize Aham Brahmasmi, and attain jīvanmukti here and now. Finally, the shloka wishes us jīvanmuktas to lead others along the same path. Since this teaching is so rare and difficult to get, Sri Krishna also mentions in the Gita that those who spread this knowledge are very dear to him. Thus, let us follow the shloka and spread the knowledge for the benefit of all. This shloka is chanted by our Pujya Swami Paramarthananda Ji at the end of his meditation talks. They are uploaded regularly on the website yogamalika.org. Thank you. Hari Om.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. We are following the second half of chapter 14, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So we studied about three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. These three gunas are the ones which binds the Atma in this Deha. This is what we saw. So we say the Atma, Vinashi Atma, which is omnipresent, is held in place within the body by these three gunas. So further today, we will again revise these three gunas, how it interacts with the body and how it interacts with itself, within themselves, and create an illusion of individuality. And the jnana, the ultimate moksha, is to go beyond these gunas. That is to become a guṇāthitha. And how this is achievable, how to become a guṇāthitha, and what will be the features of a guṇāthitha will be the objective of study of today's session. So that is about the guṇāthitha. You imagine you're driving on a long drive in a car. You are in a busy official visit to the other place. Maybe you're traveling from Bangalore to Mysore and you have to reach there in time. But due to circumstances, you need to take care of three children with you who are sitting in the back seat of your car. They are in their own world, exploring, thinking, playing between themselves, sleeping, asking for food. In between them playing, you can think it as they are playing stone, paper, scissors. You know this game the children play. So this is the sattva, rajas, tamas. These three aspects, these three gunas are inevitable accompaniments when you are embodied in a human body. Your final destination, where you need to go and what is your immediate focus, what is your only attention, that meeting you have to attend in Mysore is like moksha. With single-minded passion, you are going towards your goal of reaching Mysore. You're driving with full concentration. But that clutter and noise in the backseat of these children is always troubling you. But you keep them entertained because otherwise it will be much more trouble. They are children and it's their duty, it's their nature to be playful. So what do they play? Like I said, stone, paper, scissors. Paper is like sattva guna, where it's about knowledge, about the being the purest among the three, the best among the three children. And the rajas is like the scissors, who wants to be always active, playful, karmas. And the rajoguna person, this kid will be always sleepy, trying to go to sleep, happily, merrily, in, like they say, ignorance is bliss. Just to oneself, he wants to sleep off, forgetting about what is happening, anything else. So these are the three kids, our own kids who we keep within ourselves. And these are the three. This clutter is something like that FM radio, it keeps you on as you're driving with full concentration towards your meeting. So the final goal will be moksha, jnana, which is totally unconnected to these three kids who are there as a inevitable consequences of being in your car, that is your body. So guṇāthitha is that person who realizes he is not playing with the kids. He is there beyond, he has a goal which is beyond what these children are playing. They are engrossed in their play. You participate in the play. They, in between, they keep asking their questions about this, about this, about the tree, about the bridge, about the dam, about something else, about the play. But still, you will be entertaining them by answering their questions. But eventually, always, you are guṇāthitha. You are thinking beyond this petty little play of these little children. Because he knows gunas alone interact. He will be like udasina, like he will be like indifferent. He's not disturbed. He's like indifferent. He is not indifferent here. Udasina, udasino means like it is like like indifferent. He is not totally indifferent. He is also engrossed in the play. He participates, but fully knowing that he is not disturbed. He is firm in his conviction about what he has to do next. He has to concentrate on driving the car and reach his destination, which is moksha. In the next slide, we see how does a guṇāthitha act. We will see this in further details as we go further. So how does a guṇāthitha act? He will be abiding in Atma. He always knows the fact that he is a guṇāthitha. And he will be the same whenever there's a pleasure and pain. Whether the thing in his hand, is it a mud, a stone, or a gold, he considers them as sort of equal. Like all are mithya, all are sort of temporary thing which is there in your hand today, which may go somewhere else tomorrow. In desirable and undesirable situations, he is the same. Censure and praise of himself by others. Mana and apamana, respect, disrespect, friends and foes. Everybody means the same for such a person. This is how one can identify, one can see the lakshana of a guṇāthitha. Samadukha sukha swastha, samaloshtascha kanchana. So this is how the features, the lakshanani of a guṇāthitha. He gives up all the binding activities of life. Nothing binds him. It's not that he's indifferent and he's casual about his function as a human being. He's there in the society, fully active in his role according to his varnashrama dharma. But he always has that conviction that what he is that Atma. He's a guṇāthitha. That's always there. He's the driver and his destination is the meeting in Mysore. These kids will play because it's their nature to play like that. They do nothing else. But kids are kids, an inevitable accompaniments within your car as long as you are in the vehicle called human body. This is about guṇāthitha and how a guṇāthitha acts. In today's session, we'll revise the entire session of Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, which will be explained by Dr. Sachin about what are these gunas. We'll revise that aspect. And then we will see how these gunas interact, how to go beyond and become a guṇāthitha, and what are the features, what are the virtues of a guṇāthitha, what are the lakshanas of a guṇāthitha. This will be explained by Dr. Sachin. And then further, we'll see the Tattvabodha subtopic about Jnana Yoga. What are the virtues of inner freedom, virtues of a jnani. Over to Dr. Sachin, please.
Hari Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So we are in the topic of Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. First, let us understand what does this guna mean for us. There is a saguna form, one's lower nature, and there is a nirguna form, one's higher nature. We take some examples to understand this lower and higher nature. Here, water is boiling in a pot. The fire is the original nature heat, and the borrowed heat is in the pot, which is water is boiling through. So we can say the original heat is the fire, borrowed heat is the water, which is boiling. Same example continued. The originality is the sun and borrowed light is the moon. Same is the universal father or the origin of consciousness, the Brahman, the original consciousness, which gives rise to everything Prakriti around it. So now we have two concepts. Nirguna without any attributes and Saguna with attributes. And we are all made up of both, including the attributeless and attributed. So the body, mind, which interacts with the world outside and within, is made up of both Nirguna and Saguna. And this body mind always will be changing. It will be unstable and it will be modifiable. But with practice, one can improve. As we know, any new sport, we have to learn first, practice it, and then we become perfect in it. So just revising few verses of the last class in Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, it is the first time where Sri Bhagavan himself gives the understanding. He teaches Arjuna without Arjuna asking a question. So he says, once again, I shall impart this supreme knowledge to you, by which even the Mahatmas, the Jnanis, the Munis have understood how to go beyond these three gunas. And once you achieve this knowledge, what will happen? You will be beyond this death and birth cycle, repeatedly taking the birth and repeatedly dying. This cycle will be no more to you, Arjuna. And also, you will not have the beginning or end. You will be always free. This is what the phalam of understanding this knowledge of beyond the gunas. Before going in depth, just wanted to clarify this consciousness or the originality we call here as Purusha. And the Prakriti is the borrowed things, which we will see what are the differences. The Purusha is the original Chetana, and Prakriti will have the Achetana, which is borrowed. Purusha is Nirguna and Nirvikara. So without any attributes and without any faults. Whereas Prakriti has attributes and it has always some kind of fallacies with it. So this universe is made up of, here's Krishna says it is Mama Yonir Mahat Brahmaha. It is made through me. I am the real seed of all these things. So mixture of both. Once God himself says, I have made this through me, that means we are mixture of both the Prakriti and the Purusha. We can see this example often quoted. When you see ornaments of gold, we know that it is made up of gold. We did not have to test that it is made up of, all the ornaments are made up of gold. Similarly, the fourth verse explains the universal father. The Prakriti is made up of none other than Brahman. Because we all know the story, Brahmaji was created through the navel of Swayam Vishnu, and through that, through Om Tat Sata, this chanting, entire universe was created. Now, the next three verses explains the quality of a Satwik mind, Rajasic mind, and Tamasic mind. Satwik mind is obviously a jnāna pradhana mind, thinking mind. It goes through a nivritti marga. It always wants to go within the inside, not outer world, within world. And his asanga, such people don't like to have many companies. And generally they are silent. Rajasic mind is like a mind of a child, always doing some activities, always wanting to go around this outer world, and it likes companies. Buzzing with sound is the key for this mind. Tamasic mind is a very unwanted mind, which will be always wandering. Never, it will be lazy. It will create problem within and outside the world. And we don't want to have such mind. How these gunas, whatever it is, Rajasic, Tamasic, or Satwik, it has binding nature. And the three binding things can be with an acronym of BAD, B-A-D. Bandhakatvam, Atrupti Kartatvam, and Dukkha Mishri Tattvam. This is given in the 5th verse. So we all know we are all the mixture of three, Satwik, Rajasic, Tamasic. But here here Swamiji says that we have to have this, because as a child we are Tamasic, we are lazy. As we grow, we become Rajasic to fulfill our duties, be very active in society. And finally, as we gray and go, we should be Satwik. And Satwik people would always be like a cool mountain, like the Himalayas. Always cool, calm, composed. And whatever they do is for the benefit of society. Whereas Rajasic, one can feel the Rajasic people around when they are, because just that presence will make anxiety, anxiousness all around, and they will be always boiling. They will be always doing work, and it will be seen to everyone. And Tamasic would be like a a big cave which is having no light, aprakashene. This will be no light, there will be laziness, and there will be no good things happening to this type of people. So 11, 12, and 13 verse explained about the different natures of Rajasic, Tamasic, and Satwik. Now the phalam, which is given in 15, 16, and 17. Here the phalam for Satwik people is example of a home where everyone is bond so well. Happiness all around. They share and care for each other. Whatever they have, they always are satisfied with it. In a Rajasic family, there would be enough and more, but they don't have any time for themselves. There will be a lot of quarrels and they won't spend any time together. Such will be a Rajasic phalam. Tamasic, we need not even think, because they will be always in a darkness, like a dungeon, and they won't come out of their tamasic nature, the laziness or the dullness. Now, after death, what happens? This was what will happen before death, but after death, in the 18th verse, very clearly mentioned, Sattvic people can move from lower lokas to higher lokas after death because of their good karmas, and they will go to Bhuvar, Swar, Mahar, Jana, Tapa, and Satyaloka. In Satyaloka, again, Brahmaji will teach them the same knowledge which Arjuna is been taught by Krishna, and we are all learning through Arjuna. The same knowledge will be taught, but there will be 1,000 years to fulfill, and then they get moksha. The Rajasic people will revolve around the same Bhuvar Loka, and the Tamasic definitely, because of the not so good deeds, they will go down to Atala, Vitala, up to Patala. Now we come to the 19th verse. Jnanam guṇebhya kartaram yada drushtânupashyati gunebhascha param vetti madbhavam sodhigacchati. Here, when the seer understands the doer to be none other than the gunas, he knows thyself, which is beyond the gunas, he attains my nature. This is what Krishna is saying. Basically, with an example, we'll understand. There were 3 salt dolls sitting on a beach. One of them decided to know much more about the ocean. Somehow she had a connect and she felt she should explore going into the ocean. She walked the path, which is the right path, and she went into the ocean, and we all know a salt doll, what will happen? It disintegrated. So here, when the seer understands he is not the gunas, he is not the seen, he is beyond that, then the complete assimilation, Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam happens. In the 20th verse, Guṇānetān tityatrin dehi dehas mudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhe vimukta mrutamashrute. Having gone beyond these 3 gunas, which are cause of rebirth, the person is free from birth, death, old age, and sorrow, and attains immortality. Now, we all know when we are gone beyond these gunas, what would happen? We are always peaceful, happy. Once we are happy, we don't have any sorrows. We don't have any kind of things which are of the old age where there is a lot of chinta, and we don't fear about death. And once we are not fearful about any death, we don't have rebirth also. That is not a physical death, but death, which is if you are always thinking about something, we are dying every moment. Here we are trying to live every moment. So we are generally, this is immortality in the form of jīvanmukta. This is what is explained in this verse, that such person will be living every moment and he will be immortal. 5th verse mentioned this, Nibandhanti Deha Dehinam. Because all these 3 gunas capture the soul as the bird is captured here in the chain, it doesn't move away. It doesn't go to the immortality. So we have to break down this golden shackles and move toward the immortality. And only then the Mahavakyam, Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam will be a realized thing. What will happen once we have 3, this Chinmudra explains the 3 Sattva, Rajas, and Tamasic Guna Mind you, the Sattva Guna also is binding. So the three gunas has to move away, then only the index finger, the Jivatma, will come to Paramatma. We also want to emphasize on this because this is an important verse. See, first we will have tamasic nature, as is the pole vaulter, we're just standing, doing no action. Then slowly it will run in that path to jump. That is Rajasic nature. And then after it reaches the height, it has to leave that Satwik Rupi pole. Only then it will go towards the other side of immortality or moksha and land up on a cushion, which is none other than Bhagwan himself. So this is important. We have to leave even Sattva nature. We cannot think that, okay, Satwik Guna is good. I am better than so many of people, so I should not leave this. If you don't leave the pole, you will fall down on the same side again. Now, after this, 21st verse, Arjuna is asking more about such guṇāthitha. He's asking what are the indicators, lingam? How do they behave, acharam? And what is the means to get this, sadhanam? Guṇāthitha lingam, guṇāthitha acharaha, guṇāthitha sadhanam. So does this jnani look something different? Or does he have some different kind of color? Or does he have a halo around him? No. So here Bhagwan explains that the Supreme Divine has explained, O Arjuna, these persons who are transcendental to these all three gunas, which is born of sattva, and nor it is born of rajas, nor they are born of delusion, which is tamas. When these are abundantly present, they are not affected. When they are not there, still they are not affected. They remain neutral to the modes of nature and are not disturbed by them. Knowing it is only the gunas that act, they stay established in the self without wavering. So Arjuna's question is answered here, that such people, they are not at all affected by the gunas. Gunas are only the medium in interacting in this world, within as well as outside. Again, he emphasizes more, sama dukkha sukha swastha, samaloštashma kanchana, tulya priya priyo dhira, tulya nindatma sanstuti. So he is equal in praise as well as in, if someone is praising him, he is not affected. If someone is censuring him, he is not affected. The wise man is always in his self, means higher self. It is not affected by pleasure or pain, or he doesn't consider any difference in a clod of earth, a stone, or even gold. He is in same in desirable as well as undesirable situations. So, in short, which one of these is a guṇāthitha? Is it a thermometer which mercury rises depending upon what the temperature is outside, or falls down depending on how much the temperature is? He is like a thermostat. One who has gone beyond the guna is a thermostat. It doesn't, no difference happens to him once he's decided. Nothing will change. Anything outside will not change him within. In the next verse, he says, he is same in honor. He's emphasizing more on his qualities. He is same in honor and dishonor. He is the same towards a friend and his foe. He is renouncer of all action. He is said to be a guṇāthitha. So with this, he has explained how the samatvam, also in the second chapter, how is the sthita prajna. So same thing here, guṇāthitha. He is samatvam. He is calm, composed in all his action, because he has renounced the action to Lord himself. Ishvara prasada bhava, Ishvara arpana bhava. And in the last two verses, what will happen? What is the benefit? That he who worships me, means God himself, through the yoga of unswavering devotion, bhakti yogena, avyabhicharena, unswavering devotion, will attain to him. And I feel this example of Mirabai is very apt, where she went through so much of disturbance in her life due to the body, due to this Prakriti, but she never forgot that her focus was Krishna in all ways. So she finally became one with Krishna, And so this example of Tukaram Maharaj. In the last verse, the mention of Amritasya, Shasvatasya, Dharmasya. So Krishna is saying, whatever you are seeing in this changeless or the things around Saguna form also of Brahman, and the Dharma which is taught by Brahman, and the Ananda which we get through the Brahman is none other than myself. So whatever things we are seeing, behind it is none other than Krishna. This is the meaning of the chapter 14, that we have to look beyond the three gunas and always get anchored in the consciousness, the higher consciousness. Here Krishna. I end this chapter by chanting this verse. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Chaturdashodhyayaha. We come to the second part of the talk, where in Tattva Bodha we are discussing Jnana Yoga, virtues of inner freedom. DISHA, this program started on the same lines, where discovery of our inner strength and happiness, and this inner strength and happiness ultimately gives the freedom. So how to achieve that goal? Always it is self-effort. The first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita teaches us Karma Yoga. Then the next 6 chapter, Upasana Yoga. This Karma Yoga will make us enabled to understand Bhagavan well. And after this, the last 6 chapter tells us about values, which gives us jnanam, and that is helpful us to get liberated. The 3 virtues are simple: acceptance, courage, and discretion. Acceptance for whatever is happening around me, good or bad, being same in all situations, courage to change what I can, and discretion to know the difference. With this serenity prayer, it will be more clear. Oh Lord, grant me the serenity to accept what cannot be changed in my life. Oh Lord, grant me the courage to change what can be. Oh Lord, grant me the wisdom to know what can be changed and what cannot be. With this, I end my topic. Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you, Dr. Sachin, for an elaborate and simple explanation about the 3 gunas and guṇāthitha lakshana. How to become a guṇāthitha, what are the features of a guṇāthitha, and then further about what are the virtues of a jnani, of a guṇāthitha. So that completes the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, chapter 14. In the next slide, we'll try to recapitulate what we learned about how to become a guṇāthitha. We saw the 3 gunas, which are inevitable. It has to be there in each one of us. Even though over time we try to become more Satwik than Rajasic, and definitely to come out of the tamas. It is inevitable that a component of each 3 of these gunas is present in each one of us. And to go beyond that is called a guṇāthitha. I give the example of a car ride with 3 children. So we have to know and always remember that they are there in the back seat, but we have to drive towards our goal of becoming a guṇāthitha. And Swamiji here again stresses the point that the only means, Swami Paramarthananda says, the only means to go beyond these gunas is through jnana. Jnana is the only means. Otherwise, it will be this clutter of these 3 gunas, guna vartante. They play with each other. They interact with each other. And that is life, and that is samsara. To come out of samsara, to reach towards our goal of moksha, the only way to become guṇāthitha is through jnanam, knowledge. And how you gain that knowledge? Through bhakti, upasana, through devotion. So the knowledge through devotion is the only means to go beyond the gunas. So what are the steps? We know Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Jnana Yoga. When you are initially the Sakama Karma, so you do some activity where you expect some return out of it. Oh dear God, please help me in passing this exam or clearing this hurdle or whatever trouble you are in. So that is, you will be doing with something desire in your mind, Sakama Karma. And when that eventually happens, whether it's for good or bad, you accept the outcome as Ishvara Prasada. That is Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. Then comes the Nishkama Karma, where whatever action you do, you won't be doing principally for the benefit you gain out of it, but mainly as an offering to the Lord. That is Ishvara Arpana Bhavana. That's Sakama Karma, Nishkama Karma. The next in the ladder is to get into Upasana, Ishvara Upasana. In the earlier part, it is Ekarupa Ishvara Upasana, Ishtadevata Upasana, because that will be the starting step, initial step, which is easy to comprehend and start with. Then as you expand your horizon of where all God is, then you come to the stage of Vishwarupa Ishvara Upasana. You will enjoy the Ishvara, the vibhutis of Ishvara, Ishvara who is present in every living and non-living thing around you. That is Vishwarupa Ishvara Upasana. Then as the mind gets sharpens and it becomes Sukshmati Sukshma, you get into that stage where Nirguna Ishvara Upasana becomes possible. Then such a person will become a Sadhana Chatushchaya Sampanna Adhikari. Then he is ripe to start the Gnana Yoga of Vedanta Shravana Madana Nididhyasana. This is the ladder. As you can see, this helicopter, what happens? It rises through what? Through those three propellers on its top. These gunas are like the three propellers. They will rotate. They will rotate in 2 dimensions in that plane. But eventually, using this rotation, what happens to the helicopter? The aircraft gently moves up. It rises and starts flying. It becomes in a totally new dimension, which is unrelated to the movement of these 3 propellers. These 3 wings are like the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. And when they interact and play, you utilize, you leverage these gunas to go to the next dimension using jnana. That's the only way to raise above gunas. That's how one can become a guṇāthitha. And what happens next? In the next slide, we see this is taken from Mundaka Upanishad. As rivers flowing into the ocean lose themselves in the ocean, casting off the name and form, including the names of these gunas, the knower, the gnani, freed from name and form, attains the divine Purusha, the Purushottama, who is higher than the high. That is, he is beyond the mundane materialistic world, beyond the gnana of Maya, beyond that, Purushottama he will become. As we see in this temple of Ananta Padmanabha Swami in Thiruvananthapuram, where you need to see one aspect of the Lord in 3 doors, which will show the upper part, mid part, and the lower part. The vastness of the Lord can't be visualized in one window. When we are in this materialistic world, in this body, it's only one aspect we can see. When we stand on the threshold of that, still we can see only one part of it. So when your mind, when you works through Satwik aspect, Rajasic aspect, or the Tamasic aspect, you're seeing only one aspect. Whereas when you cross the threshold and enter the other side, when you leave that rod of the pole vault of the pole, when you leave, when you reach that height, then the guṇāthitha sees nothing beyond that. There is no name, there is no form. It's infinite vastness of oneness on the other side. And there the guṇāthitha will see nothing. And you turn back, there are no three windows, there are no three gunas, there is no name, no form. It's like the salt doll which gets to the ocean to search, to know the depth of the ocean. As Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa once said, the salt doll wants to examine and measure the depth of the ocean. So it runs to the ocean and dips into it. Then it goes deeper and deeper. As it goes through that, it loses itself. It becomes one with the ocean. By the time it reaches the floor, or even before that, it gets totally dissolved in the ocean. There's no difference between the salt doll as well as the salt in the ocean, the water of the ocean. So that's the story of the salt doll who went in search of the depth of the ocean. Similarly, the guṇāthitha, once he gets to the other side, he loses himself, including his name and form. He loses even the names of sattva, rajas, tamas doesn't mean anything to a guṇāthitha. It's only for the others who would look for what are the virtues and what are the lakshanani of a guṇāthitha. So this was wonderfully explained by Dr. Sachin today. And with that, we come to the end of 14th chapter. Very important, a short but very important chapter. Now we'll go forward with the teaching quiz on chapter 14 by Srimati Nilima. Over to Srimati Nilima, please.
First question. What is the root cause of all actions that man performs? Vinayji, are you there? Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, it's due to the gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Mind with three gunas.
Correct. Second question. What is the real nature of man?
The pure consciousness or the self.
Yes, individual is a witness principle, ever liberated consciousness. Next. The way of self-realization is by knowing options. Gunas are real doer of all actions. B. I am different from gunas. C. I am Atma, witness principle. D. All of the above.
All of the above.
Correct. Question. What are the characteristics of human life? Options. A. Old age, death, disease. B. Pain, suffering, and sorrow. C. A and B. D. None of the above.
Both A and B.
Correct. Answer C. Next question. What is moksha?
Free from birth and death.
Correct. Sixth question. Guṇāthitha means? Options, please. Options, please. Yeah. Okay. One who does not hate or long for three gunas. Next question. Characteristics of guṇāthitha who possess? Options. Samatvam. B. Immovable firmness. C. Courage and boldness. D. All of the above.
All of the above. Samatvam, immovable firmness, courage, and boldness.
Yes, correct. Eighth question. What is the way to transcend the three gunas?
Firm devotion towards Lord or Guru. By his grace, one gains self-knowledge. So mainly
Correct.
through devotion.
Yes, through devotion. Correct. Next question. What is the nature of Lord Krishna or Supreme Brahma?
Options.
Options. A. Immortal and immutable. B. Eternal dharma. C. Bliss absolute. D. All of the above.
All of the above. Immortal and mutable, eternal dharma, and bliss absolute.
Correct. Dhyana yoga leads to
The
options.
Jīvanma, Paramatma.
Options. Yeah. A, individual, Jivatma, losing his identity. B, merges into total consciousness, Paramatma. C, both A and B. D, none.
Both A and B.
Yes, both A and B. Answer is C. Punya and Papam acquired only in human birth. Is it
True.
true or false?
Yes, it is true.
Correct. Next question. Jnani becomes free from what karmas? A, Sanchita karma. B, Prarabdha karma. C, Agami karma. D, all of the above.
All of the above. There won't be any karmas left for a jnani.
D, correct. 13. Benefits of Jnana Yoga. Options, please. A, jīvanmukti. B, videhāmukti. C, both. D, none.
Jīvanmukti and Videhāmukti, both.
C, correct. Jnana Yoga helps to, options please. A, destroy Sanchita karma, which is accumulated in several past human births. B, Prarabdha karma, exhausting in the form of pleasure and pain in the present life. C, Agami karma, due to absence of ahamkara, no future karmas are created. D, all of the above. Answer?
All of them.
Correct.
Jnana Yoga will destroy all the Sanchita, Prarabdha, and Agami karmas.
Correct. Answer is D. Next question. 15th. Sadhanam in Jnana Yoga, which means intelligent attitude of the seeker. A, impermanent world can only be the means, stepping stone, never a goal. B, Brahma alone is permanent, is the sadhyam, goal of human life. C, both A and B. D, none.
Both A and B. World is means and Brahman is the goal.
Yes, correct. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you. Jai Guru.
Thank you, Nilima and Vinayakan, for a wonderful quiz. Thank you, Dr. Sachin, for an absorbing session, and Dr. Komal sir for the insightful introduction and discussion, supported by some innovative slides as always. My thanks are also due to you, friends, for your active participation. Let's log in for our next DISHA 62 on Friday, 2nd June 2023 for the study of chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita, that is Purushottama Yoga. Please log in at 6:45 p.m. sharp Friday. Thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you.